If I was going to list some attributes for a dream walleye trip, they'd go something like this. First of all, obviously there'd have to be big walleyes. But secondly, I'd like to be able to drive around and hunt for those walleyes with my electronics. Maybe find an individual fish or two and then fish for those fish. And third, I'd love to be using one of my favorite techniques, and that's shivering, just because it produces such outrageous strikes. Well, I think my dream has come true. I'm actually out here on Lake Sakakawea. It's mid-October, and I'm being joined by two of my good friends, Kemos, who's an ex-tournament champion, and Mike Peluso, who's the current team of the year for the AIM North Dakota circuit. So we're gonna go out, we're gonna find some big walleyes, we're gonna go hunting for them, we're gonna do some shivering, and we're gonna show you the next bite.
Just looking for the next bite, next bite, next bite, next bite. Just looking for the next bite.
Lake Sakakawea in western South Dakota was created by the Garrison Dam on the Missouri River. It is the third largest man-made lake in the nation.
They got some big slimers here.
With that much water, it provides the perfect habitat for many different species of fish.
Nice. Look at the width of the guts on these things. Oh, yeah. I mean,
in recent years, the lake has hit the proverbial grand slam, boasting an immense population of smelt that the fish have been gorging themselves on to the point of almost bursting.
I mean, the walleyes have been eating good, but other things eat good here too. I think we need a walleye this big.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But we'll take this. I don't think you can get a walleye that big.
With the fish being so well fed, professional walleye anglers Keith Kavajecz, Tom Kemos, and Mike Peluso are looking for more of a reaction strike, because the fish just simply don't have to eat.
Look at that triple grip.
I don't think he's coming
Two
off.
prongs right in the nose.
One of the really cool things we got going on up here on Lake Sakakawea is we've got such a great fishery happening here. I call it the home run in walleye fishing. We've got a huge walleye population, one of the biggest on record, and coupling that with the biggest smelt population we've ever had. And for those of you that are huge walleye anglers and avid walleye anglers know that walleyes absolutely love smelt, and when they get on that type of forage, they grow big and they grow fast. And when you put these things all together and what's happening right now, these fish are putting on an absolute feeding frenzy. We're up here, middle October, kind of capitalizing on that late fall time of year. And I'll tell you what, we're seeing some awfully nice fish. And my prediction is we're going to see the Van Hook Arm, the Lake Sakakawea, the whole stretches of this whole reservoir just completely turn on fire. It's a pretty cool system right now.
Here's what we're talking about. I mean, these fish are just absolutely gorging themselves. I just caught this fish, and look at it, it has two smelt that it's puking up. I mean, look at that. Talk about eat until you can't anymore, huh? Cool. There he is.
Good one?
He's getting better.
Stand down.
I'm ready for you, Tom.
All right. Here comes Keith.
Ooh, I see him down there.
Oh, that's a good one. Here he comes, good.
Little deep knot in there.
Yeah. Nice job.
Very nice. Grab him out of there, Tom.
He's got a face full of shiver minnow again,
Get
huh?
your mouth open. Boy, he wanted it. He was quite
yeah.
clamped on it. Look at this bad boy. He switched colors on us, huh? A little blue,
Yeah, mixing it up a
white,
little bit.
and a little pink on there. Mixing it up, paid off. Look at that one. They're just so chunky.
How can they not be with all this food in the system? It's crazy.
With all the food, it's surprising. You almost got to use something like a shiver minnow to trigger them. It's like, I don't think they need to eat anything, obviously.
I don't think so either.
But a lot of times that shiver minnow almost make them bite. It's almost like,
Yep, just a reaction strike.
Yeah.
They can't help it.
yeah.
Well, let's get this one back.
Get him in. Get out of here.
The next bite is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly. Tracker Boats, fish the finest. Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here. Berkeley, catch more fish. And Motor Guide, accuracy matters. Closed captioning for the next bite is provided by Power Pole, the ultimate in shallow water anchors. It's no secret that one of Keith's favorite ways to fish is shivering. Hunting for fish with his electronics puts him in the right spot to shiver, similar to hunting that one big buck.
Holy smokes, there's some nice fish right above that.
The Van Hook Arm on Lake Sakakawea is a giant piece of walleye holding real estate. When just looking at the contours, almost every steep break coming out of deep water looks like really good fish holding structure.
Lake Sakakawea obviously is a huge body of water. And what we're fishing out here is structure. And what we're finding is that the fish are hanging around fairly sharp structure that goes from very deep water, 80, 90, 100 foot deep, all the way up to most of them are topping out in that 20, 25 foot zone. But with all this structure here, it's real important to search around and look for fish. If you just fish down the side of a break, drift down it or drag down it, boy, you're going to spend a lot of time in dead zones. So what we're doing is actually driving in and out of that deep water, up to the shallow, out to the deep, looking for individual fish or maybe 2 or 3 fish together. And then what we want to do is position our boats so we're right on top of those fish. A lot of the fish that we're finding are related to the smelt. There's a pretty hard band of smelt, like a concentration of them, from 32 to about 35, 40 feet. And what we're finding is that up on top of them, like in 25, 30 feet, we're finding a lot of the smaller fish. Down in the smelt, we're pushing the smelt around a hair deeper than the smelt. That's where we're finding the little bit bigger fish. So what you want to do when you see a nice big fish, and by big what I mean is a lot of yellow in the arc, what you want to do then is position your boat. What I like to do is actually use my trolling motor. I keep it down so that when I'm driving around I can quickly position us. And what do I mean by that? If I'm going into the wind and I mark some fish, I just simply go a hair upwind of them, hit that anchor, that'll slide back just a little bit and you'll be positioned right on top of them. If you aren't driving into the wind, say you're driving downwind and you kind of drive past the fish, what you want to do then is scroll back with your unit, put your cursor right on the fish, waypoint that fish, and then drive back around and let your boat come back right on top of that waypoint and anchor up right there so that again you're right on the fish. So again, Sakakawea, a lot of structure. Don't just fish structure. Fish individual fish and you'll be a lot more successful. And
yeah, he's got a little bit of weight to him.
Good one?
Yeah, I'm gonna need a net here, guys.
I guess that means I gotta get the net.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Well, we didn't know, Tom.
You know, all of a sudden it just got really angry.
Angry is good.
Yep. Yeah, it was coming right up, and then all of a sudden,
about 10 feet down and just curling around.
He's coming. Here he comes.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
What a good fish.
Look at that. I can't even fit my hand around.
Yeah, let me grab the fish here and maybe you can grab the lure.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
See if we can get that. Yeah, just pop that bait out. I'm going to hold on to the fish. It's right in that kind of rubbery part of the mouth.
Yeah.
Oh,
there we go.
Nice fish, Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
Look at her. Gutty.
Oh, yeah.
Gutty.
Nice solid fish.
You had casted that one, didn't you?
Yeah, I was actually working it down the break. You know, we've got all the smelt kind of washing in here, and and these fish are pushing up. It was awesome.
You can tell he's had a few smelts, and then he thought, you know what, for dessert?
Shiver minnow.
Sight Bites. Real-time fishing information from all the pros in one place at walleyechatter.com.
For many years, northern anglers have found the attributes and the capabilities of power poles to be great in a lot of different applications. Whether it's the anchor part of this or whether it's the drift paddle. And now, of course, just like everything else, technology is really starting to take over, especially with Power Pole and this new Sea Monster app. So now you can run the Power Pole by the use of your phone. And what it's going to allow you to do is use pretty much any type of customization to how you run these poles. And you'll see it's a very simple process. When I look at the screen, there's an auto setting, and all auto means is you hit it down and it'll go spike that pole. You can also put it in a manual where you can go up and down in different increments and that pole will stop. But one of the things that I really like about this app is the speed adjustment. You can basically, if you want that pole to come up as quickly as possible, use that scroll all the way to 100%. We'll go to auto so it goes up the whole way and it goes up at the quickest speed possible. What it also does is it gives you diagnostics. And with a wireless system like the Sea Monster control system in this Power Pole R, that's very important because you may have a key fob that the signal's failing on. Right away, the Sea Monster app will tell you what to do and what the troubleshooting tips are. And it'll actually send this information to the Power Pole technician so you can get an answer, figure out exactly how to get back up and running. And one of the most important things you can do when you get a new Power Pole, you can register your new products right through the app. So a lot of different things that this app does, a lot of different things that the Power Pole does, but when you put them together, there's so many very cool attributes to what technology has done to the Sea Monster system and the Power Poles on your boat.
Keith, Tom, and Mike have spent some time eliminating dead zones from their day of fishing by setting up directly on top of fish. Once you are on the fish, there are a couple different ways to catch them.
When vertical jigging a shiver minnow, basically all that I'm doing is I'm dropping that bait down onto the fish, letting it hit bottom, and I pick it up about a foot or so, and I just snap the rod up about a foot, and I'll just continue that with a nice steady cadence. Now, when you snap that bait up, it actually causes it to dart off to the side, and then on the drop, it glides out. And at the end of that snap, not only does it dart out, but it also rolls on the glide, and that's what separates the shiver minnow from all the other glide baits that are on the market. But one of the keys to using the shiver minnow, especially vertically, is that I like to use high vis line, and the reason for that is that not only can I see that when that bait touches bottom, but when I'm giving the shiver minnow the snap, I can see my line actually slack up so that I can pay attention any sort of bites that I get on the drop, which is very common with that, but I can also kind of pay attention to what my cadence is and be able to duplicate that when I do get a bite. So that's how I fish a shiver minnow.
In talking to Mike a little bit, it seems like a lot of people are getting on using glide baits up here on Sakakawea. Easily half of the bites that we've gotten and the fish that we've gotten have been from casting the bait, and the shiver minnow is really good at doing that. The key when you're casting the bait is the shiver minnow needs to be popped pretty hard so it jumps to the side, but then you've got to give it some slack line so it can turn around and glide back. And that's what a lot of people, you don't want to just jig this. Make sure you pop it, give it some slack, and let it glide. Now, we've noticed a couple different cadences have been working out here. It seems like when there's not a lot of smelt around and you're still marking fish, the fish are a little bit more aggressive, like they're swimming around a lot. You can use your regular shivering action, popping it, letting it jump from side to side, then letting it glide. Remember again, every time you bring it up though, give it a little slack line. Now, when you get around the smelt, it does seem like it's a little bit different. And we've got a lot of smelt here, so what we've had to do a lot of is a big long sweep, still give it slack, but let that bait swim back. And it seems like that bigger sweep gets their attention a little bit better and they come after it. So when you're out here casting with a shiver minnow, the key is pull and give slack so that bait can swim underwater right and attract them fish.
Oh, I'm starting to go.
Well, nice. He kind of bulldogs and he doesn't. Oh yeah, good one.
Come here,
Good,
buddy.
careful.
Oh,
Oh,
so excited.
That's a good
That
fish
is a good
there.
one. Look at that.
He golfed it,
Oh, he must
engulfed this one. Wait till you see how he engulfed this thing here.
Did he ever?
Well, he had to, of course, get it all in the
Oh,
net
yeah.
too, but look
What
at
a
this.
fish.
He actually had it, like more in his mouth,
Yeah,
like
he
he
did.
T-boned it
Yeah, he
almost. But we got two barbs of the triple grip in
There
her.
you go. Nice. Nice.
But yeah, I was just, I'd
man.
cast it out there and I was coming back. That bait's jumping around, they take a swipe at it, and you just feel something different. So I just made a quick short hop and it was like, thunk. Dunks are good, right?
Dunks are good. Set the hook. Showstoppers.
That's a nice fish.
That's beautiful.
Good fish for out here. Well, we get him back in the water here.
With the situation we're in up here on Lake Sakakawea right now, we've got an absolutely incredible amount of smelt in the system. And, you know, judging by the looks of these fish, they're awfully fat and healthy, so they're not necessarily hungry. The one thing that I've really picked up here getting a chance to fish with Keith and Tommy is anytime you feel anything happen with these shiver minnows, whether it's a void, a tickle, maybe some mushiness, you know, so you will feel the telltale thump every now and again. They're just taking a quick stab at it, and you don't always have that chance to be lackadaisical on it. So if you feel anything with this shiver minnow, hook sets are free and set her hard.
The next bite is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly. Tracker Boats. Fish the finest. Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Berkeley. Catch more fish. Mustad. Stay sharper longer. Lowrance. Find, navigate, dominate. Motor Guide. Accuracy matters. Strike King, legacy of domination for 50 years. And Power Pole, swift, silent, secure. Hot topics, leading information, and tackle and techniques to make you a better angler. Presented by Mercury.
I just quick want to show you how to attach your main line, your like nano or your fire line, to your fluorocarbon leader. You're going to make a loop in the fluorocarbon. You're going to put your line through there. I use my pinky to hold that loop. Then I just go around the two lines of the monofilament 10 or 11 times. You know, it's a little bit of hand dexterity, but you can get her done. When you get around all of those, then what you want to do is go back to the beginning, see which way you went through that loop to start, and finish the same way. You're going to tighten up that loop, wet it, and then pull it tight, and you can tug on that pretty good. It's got a lot of strength. Clip off those tags and you're ready to go.
When in the boat with professional walleye anglers Keith Kavajecz, Tom Kemos, and Mike Peluso, you see them pay attention to small details.
You just worry a little bit because it's such a big chunk of lead, you know?
Yeah.
Making a large task like breaking down structure areas on Lake Sakakawea more manageable.
Look at that. Oh my word.
Did he fight?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not the longest fish in the world, but he might be one of the fatter fish. One of the things you absolutely want to do if you're going to throw or vertical jig a shiver minnow in open water is change out its treble hook. You'll see on the original hook here, it's a smaller hook. There's one that was actually made for ice fishing. Fine for that. When you get out here in the open water, especially with these bigger fish, you want to go to a triple grip. Now, the reason a triple grip is so good is because it's got that inward bend. And so when you get that fish on, it'll lock that hook into its mouth. Problem with a shiver minnow, if there is one, is that it's a heavy lure, and when they are fighting and throwing their head around, this big chunk of lead can actually pry the hook right out of its mouth. So by using that triple grip, you're going to keep more of the fish that bite on the bait.
Time and time again, you see guys like Keith, Tom, and Mike unlock the important steps to put more and bigger fish in the boat. The first step is always find the fish.
Look at here how he hit that.
Next, they figure out what bait and cadence work best. But there is always one last key ingredient that helps them put more fish in the boat.
In walleye fishing, we're always talking about the importance of color and how it's important to pay attention to color with changing light conditions. Now, what we found here on Sakakawea is that no matter what the light conditions have been, blues have definitely risen to the top. Now, a cool thing that you're going to notice, I have 4 baits in front of me here, and they aren't all blue. However, in the shiver minnow, there's several different colors of glow. And what we found is that there's several colors here that glow blue, the red grape, JJ McMuffin, and also the emanator. And now this is an atomic trout. That has a blue back, but it doesn't glow blue, but it ties the whole blue thing in together. So once again, it's important to pay attention to not only what the paint color is on the bait, but pay attention to what the glow is. And a lot of times you'll find that will tie into the pattern that you've figured out.
I don't see them back here anymore.
That's because they're up here.
We'll catch them.
There he is.
You're kidding.
That was awesome. 2 pumps and it just crushed it.
It looks big.
Oh yeah.
It looks good. It's really good.
2 pump. We marked that one out in 45 feet.
That was awesome. This is a good one too, Keith.
Kind of called him out, didn't we?
Just pulled in here, marked that a couple of good ones underneath that school of bait. Textbook, as long as I can close the deal here, you know what I mean? Feels like a really nice fish though, guys. This is a big one. Oh. Here he comes, Keith. Get him around. Get him. Look at that sucker. Oh, man. Oh,
What a great fish, Tommy. This is a beast.
Look at that.
This is a beast. And all we did, you know, we caught a lot of fish. It's just a matter of kind of just graphing around. We set up, and Tom put the move on him. Shivered him. Look at how he T-boned that thing, Tommy. Try and get that.
Awesome.
Boy, he's hooked just nicely. One hook right in the top here, that treble.
That's exactly how you want him to be hooked, isn't it?
Nice big number 4 triple grip. And there it is. Look at this beastly thing, Thomas. I mean, here, you feel how heavy he is. He's just a monster.
Look at this.
Just a monster. Huge gut. We saw him, and it was a ball of bait, and there was 2 big marks. Like Tommy said, oh, look, they're pushing that bait up shallow. We swung out, dropped down the trolling motor. Tommy says, I got him. I mean, how many times you plumb it?
I snapped it twice, and it just rifled it. I mean, it was awesome.
Well, the way he had it in his mouth, you know, crossways like that, unreal. That is just a studly fish right there.
Super stud.
Oh, man. Well, get him back in. We have caught so many fish on this trip, little ones, big ones. We've caught catfish, northern pike. I mean, this has just been an unbelievable trip. Get out here and do it. And this is a great time of year, I think any time right now, because this is so full of fish and smelt, they're just going to get bigger and bigger.
Oh God, huge fish. Oh my God, this is a big one. I'm not kidding. This thing is giant.
You better not be kidding.
Well, I don't know, it just got really smaller.
That's what you get for kidding.
No, not at all. Got him that time, Aki.
Now, when you come out to Lake Sakakawea, I normally tell you to look for like the wind-blown shoreline and some kind of mud line. But actually out here, they don't have mud anymore. There's so many walleyes and so many smelt. It's poop in the water. I don't know if I'd fish the poop, but, you know, be careful.
The Next Bite would like to thank North Shore Inn & Suites and North Dakota area fishing guide Mike Peluso. For more information on North Shore Inn & Suites, visit GarrisonMotel.com, or to book a fishing trip with Mike, visit MikePelusoOutdoors.com.